So you mentioned that there are certain areas that are more troublesome than others when it comes to dogs and stuff. What about generally areas that are, you know, friendly to bicyclists and those that maybe you'd ought to be cautious about?
Yeah, I would say my first recommendation to anyone who wants to get into bicycle touring is to go down the Pacific coast. Uh, and by down, I mean to ride from north to south. The prevailing winds are from the north. You're on the outer side of the road, so you have a better view even of the coast. If you know the cliffs and ocean, you have a much better view when you're heading south. And the coast is, Big Sur is some of the most spectacular landscape that I've ever encountered. And uh, for the vacationing, tourists, and for any bicyclist, a bike tourist, you've got um, great state parks with hiker biker campsites, so you can spend the night and get a shower for $6 usually at all the state parks in Oregon and California. So the Pacific Coast is probably my number one favorite ride. Um, and then other than that, I would say the adventure cycling routes. Like if you go to adventurecycling.org, uh, the routes and the maps that they have on offer are, those are the roads where you're going to see the most other bike tourists. The dogs are going to be familiar enough with bicyclists. Your drivers and your delivery truck drivers are going to be aware that bicyclists are on the road because they see them every day or often enough. Um, but the southern tier is probably it's a bit rougher in a lot of ways. Uh, Going through the desert is it's easier because you got a lot more freedom with where you can go camp. Uh, it's all kind of free wild camping in the desert. It's very simple, but your cast of characters on the southern tier might be a little bit more on the wild side. Um, the northern tier and like the other routes that adventure cycling has to offer are a lot easier. Uh, the Mississippi Valley was rough. I didn't enjoy the Mississippi Valley, but I had a good time crossing the country, following the I-90 corridor and the Lewis and Clark route. So from Portland to Missoula, that's some interesting mountainous riding. But it's all it depends on what your expectations are and what you think you're going to get out of it.
What
Um,
about the people, the states? Different states are friendlier or
yeah,
not less friendly, or
I
uh,
liked Texas quite a bit. I really I rolled into Texas thinking that this was going to be hell and expecting to get pelted with beer bottles and that kind of thing and yelled at. California is much worse
really?
for that. Yeah, California thinks that it's they a lot of people act like they think you act in Texas and Alabama, and people don't act like that in Texas and Mississippi and Alabama. Yeah, California's got a lot of population, so um, there's a lot more. Your odds of running into bad behavior just increase simply because there's so many more people on the road. But yeah, I found that Texas and Colorado were were great for like just not necessarily the hospitality, but the charm and the pride that people carried themselves with, and that kind of Texas, Colorado, up the Rio Grande. Um, yeah, I enjoyed my time there quite a bit, and the people I met.
You're not going to say one good word about Oregonians?
Oregon, Oregon is it's great as well. one of the best things about Oregon is how far away you can get from people. You know, just by the fact of extremely rugged coastal mountains and the dense forests and you know, a lot of the winding roads that rip through these mountains, very small towns, and the people here are great, but you might not see people, you know, depending on what you're up to. You can get away.